Guys, what is up? Today I am going to be showing you how to make some friggin' sick ass thing on Photoshop using some smudging, like a signature, or you can make a background or a banner. You can make whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. So basically it's pretty easy. So I figured it'd be like the first thing I made, so I doesn't, start off with something extremely hard. It doesn't really take no skill, it just takes some time and some, experimenting, but you could come up with some really sick stuff if you just, put some effort into it. So basically what you want to do is you want to make yourself some sort of size, whatever, it doesn't really matter. I'm doing 380 by 140. I'm going to set the background to I'm gonna set it to transparent. You can click OK. So yeah. So basically, you wanna set it. What you wanna do is you wanna get I can't talk. Basically, you wanna get a star field, and or like some sort of thing. I found this on Google Images, so I'm gonna use it. So, just drag it in there and let it load in. Okay, so now you can, resize it. Alright, so you can set it like that. So what you want to do is you're going to want to go to first you're going to have to rasterize the layer. Okay, so first you want to rasterize your layer and go to your smudge tool and go to your settings. So I'm gonna use a soft brush. Actually, no, I'll use a hard brush. And for your shape dynamics, you're gonna want to do for size jitter. You could do that for like you can do like 50. Yeah, I'll do 50 right now. Make it pen pressure. Go to scattering. I'm gonna set this one to 110 and make it into pen pressure. As a transfer strength jitter, make this 62, and for brush pose, you put it on and then you do smoothing on. Okay, so you want to come over here. I'm gonna put this to 70, and I'm gonna make this size a little smaller. Okay, so basically what you want to do is you just want to smudge it. And then what you want to do after that is you want to take whatever you used and put it back on there. So now that you have that, just resize it, and you're going to want to smudge it again, but you're going to want to put it, so first, like I said, you have to rasterize this. You're going to want to smudge it again, but you're going to want to lower the size. I'm going to do 29 and just smudge it and use some sort of flow. I'm going to do like up and down, but you could do side to side, you could do it in a diagonal shape, doesn't matter, just whatever you want. So basically, get the whole thing blended and smudged. Okay, once you got that done, that's the main part of what you're going to be doing for the background. And you could set this, you could play with these, you could set it to screen, you could set it to overlay, you could set it to lighten. I like lighten and then lower. Well, also, like, you could do hard light or soft light is good. Or you could just leave it like this and then, lower the opacity. You could do whatever the hell you want. And then some people do this, this is one thing that you could do to a lot of your Photoshops, and just go to gradient map, make on a new layer, set a gradient map. You could try black and white, this one, you could try any of these and play with them. I like this one, so I'm going to set it to that. And just set this to screen, or, well, actually overlay would look a little bit more, yeah, screen. And just lower the opacity, and gives it kind of a tint, which looks pretty cool. so I'm gonna leave it like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all this and I am gonna merge them, and I am gonna rename this. Hold up. This is weird. Well, hold up. Alright. Okay, so you're gonna wanna, after you do that, you're gonna wanna bring in your render. You know, if you have some sort of render. Right now I'm gonna use this transformer guy. And so here's the thing I'm gonna teach you guys. So if you look at him, he's kind of, you don't really need this bottom part of him. It's not necessary. The main part that's important is above the half. So what I'm gonna do, first of all, so I'm gonna hit Control T, and we're gonna resize them, and we're gonna, you know, show the parts that are important. So that's pretty cool, and it's a little bigger. It's cooler. I think that looks good. So I mean, you could put this anywhere. You could put this on the side. You could put it like that. I kind of like it like right about there, so I'm gonna leave it there. So now if you look at him, he kind of looks like he's just like you made a background and then you just put him on top, and he's not part of the work. He looks just like he's been placed on top. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to make, well, actually, first of all, he kind of doesn't really, you know, kind of blend in. So I'm gonna go to the hue and saturation, and I'm gonna make the reds a little more red, or you want to go my bad. And you can make them, you make it a little bit darker to blend it, and like you see. So basically what you want to do after that is you're gonna want to make a duplicate of your render. Make a duplicate in the bottom one. Use your smudge tool. You're gonna have to rasterize it. Use your smudge tool and make the size. I'm gonna do, you know, 17. And don't think that I'm trying to come across that you need to do these settings or my smudge settings, because really you can do anything you want and just, you know, mess with it, see how it turns out. If you don't like it, you know, redo it. So basically you're gonna want to just smudge the outside of them, you know, smudge the outside of them. Alright, smudge it and lower the opacity. See, I kind of don't like it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a soft brush. I'm going to raise the size and kind of erase some. And kind of use it like a brush tool almost. So, you know, erase some, and then I'm going to make another duplicate of the blend that I did. I'm going to put that on the screen or overlay. Okay, so now what you want to do is you're going to want to take your smudge tool again on your top render layer and make the smudge tool size really small, and, you know, kind of blend the outside of them just a little bit, not much, that's too noticeable, but blend it just a little bit. And if you look, you don't have to do all around, just do certain parts of them. Just do certain parts of him, you know, and that's it really. Kind of, you just want to make this look like it's part of the layer. So that looks pretty good. Now what you could do is you could play with the opacity. You could do whatever you want, honestly. That's the whole thing about Photoshop. You can do whatever you want and experiment. There's no official way to do everything. So I think that looks pretty cool. It doesn't look like it's on top of it. It looks a little more blended in. So next, what I like to do is, like with this one, you can see that he has light around him. I think that it would look better if we changed it up a little bit and changed the colors. So like, you don't have to do this with all of them, and obviously it's not going to work with all of your every single render. But like, let's say for his eyes, you know what I want to do? I'll choose a red, and just, well, I don't like that. Just choose a red, well, whatever color you want, and then maybe on the other side I'll do blue. You know, and put that on screen. See, now it kind of looks like his eyes are glowing, so I want to move that just a little bit. Okay, so now since those glows are on each side, maybe I'll take the blue again. I'll raise the size. I'll make a new layer, and I'll just, do that on the side, make that screen. Okay, and then take the red, and on this side, do that. Now you could use lighten, you could use overlay. I personally, that actually might look cool, and you could, you see, I'm just experimenting. I'm not doing any, formal technique. I'm just showing you that you can just mess around and do whatever you like and make some pretty sick stuff. So maybe take a darker red. Maybe take like a brighter blue. Okay, that looks pretty cool, I think. So now what you could do is, maybe this light, you can do the same effect. You can take it and just do that, and do this. Let's say you want to add like another color there. You see, I'm just experimenting. I'm not going off any tutorial or, anything. You could just do whatever you want. See how that looks pretty good, I think. Could lower the opacity a little bit. Lower the opacity here. I think that looks pretty sick. So now, another thing that's a key that could kill, or I guess you say make or break like anything with Photoshop, is there needs to be a light source. There's always light. Like if you're in a dark room, obviously it's gonna be dark, and if you're in a light room, it's light. There's always some sort of, shade of light in life. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to make your color white, and you're gonna want to make your hardness at 0 and make like I'd say like around a 60 size, and you're gonna want to make an, I believe that's anywhere, yeah. So let's say we want to make the light source, we'll put it like above them. We'll do that, and we'll put it on screen. We'll lower the opacity just a little bit. So he's got a light above him, but obviously you need the shadows. So what you're going to do is you go to your top layer of your render, and you're going to want to go, we're going to take the burn tool, and we're going to go like this, and it's going to make it darker. So if the light's above you, that means down here it's going to be darker. So, make it dark. Think about how it would look in real life. So now, you could take on the background, you could do a little bit like under him. And now, if this was real life, it'd be up there towards his face, it'd be a little bit lighter. So like, you could take your dodge tool, go to him, and brighten him up above the shadow. See how that looks? Now I think the light should be a little bit brighter, just a little bit. See, there you go. So now, I think that looks pretty sick. Maybe move it up just a little bit. Yeah, okay. So so now he's got some shadows and he got some colors and stuff, and it looks pretty good. So if you like what you got so far, you can move on and go make your text and do that. But I'm not completely satisfied. So since this isn't really a tutorial with something that I'm explaining in depth or something that specific, this is basically a tutorial using smudging to make the background, and I'm kind of experimenting and making some cool stuff and showing you some techniques that can make like a good Photoshop signature. So you could come up here and let's say you want to do this, you could go to your gradient map again. You can use the gradient map to something different. Let's try the purple and orange. A lot of people do that, so you can try that. Lower the opacity a little bit. You could put it on, like I said, this is just messing around and showing you guys some things that help. I like that a little bit. Raise the opacity. Or you could try hard light. Like I said, the possibilities in Photoshop, it's endless. You can do whatever you want. there's no real way to do anything. You just gotta practice, and yeah. So I actually like how that looks right now. That looks pretty cool to me. So basically, if this was like something I was really working on, I would take a lot more time, but I'm satisfied with the look, and I guess I'm probably gonna name this, you know, a tutorial of like just showing you guys techniques of different things you can do in your Photoshop to make it look better. So things you want to focus on are like flow, depth, lighting, you know, text placement, all that sort of things. And then I'll make videos to go into detail on these things when, you know, when the time comes. But I like how this looks, so I'm gonna make my text. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna teach you guys something. So I'm not gonna really do it right now, but pretend there was a 3x3 grid over this. So there'd be 9 boxes where each box connects, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, and 4. There'd be that inner square, the corners of the inner square. I learned that's where you wanna either one of those, you could put your text and it'll look the best, because you don't want to put your text over your layer. You don't want to put it, you know, way over in the corner either. You want it to be there, but you don't want it to be the main focus. This is the main focus. So you're gonna want to go here, and this would be one of the corners. So I'm gonna put it there. So I'm gonna use the this one. I'm gonna use this text, and I'm just gonna type, you know, I'll just say Iron Man tutorial. Okay, so you see that looks pretty cool. I think it should be a little bit, you know what, actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it under it. So you could put it under it, you know, and what you can do is you go to the blending options, and you can go to stroke, and I'm gonna put this as a 1. I'm gonna put this as 1, and you know, set that. Maybe you could do a gradient overlay, and you could do something like that. So you see how that looks. So that doesn't look too bad. I don't like the gradient overlay though, so I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna take the gradient overlay off. Oh, I did not take the gradient overlay off. Okay, there we go. So you know what you could do. Sometimes, and like I said, you don't want the text to be the main point. It's not there to read. It's mainly there just to be there. It's nothing that important. So I like to do that. I actually think that looks pretty cool. You know, put that like that. And like I said, so that's basically it. I mean, if you look at it, it looks pretty cool. I mean, there's plenty of things more you could do. Like you could go on Google Images and search up some textures, you know, put it over and play with the opacity. I mean, there's endless things you can do. You can make a new layer. You can go to filter. You can go to render, make some clouds, and you know, mess with that. So like I'll show you how to do that right now if you don't know how to already. So let's say I want pink and white clouds. I mean, obviously it's not gonna look good, but so make the clouds. You can put that as screen, and you can lower the opacity. It looks pretty good actually, but I mean that isn't really what I'm looking for, so I'll just leave it like that. But you see what I mean? You could do a lot of things, and this is just gonna be a video to explain that to you. So don't look at this as a very detailed tutorial, you know, showing you how to make a certain kind. But basically I just wanted to explain to you guys some techniques that I use in my signatures and anything in Photoshop to make it look better. And you know, I see a lot of people making stuff out there, and you know, they mess up on things like text or lighting, you know, and it could really ruin something in Photoshop. So basically that is all I have to show you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something from this, and if you didn't, if you already knew all this, that's good for you. I mean, probably by next video it'll be something a little bit more difficult, so maybe you might learn from that. But basically that's all I had to show you guys today. So yep, this is what I made. If you want, you could go make stuff, upload it to Imgur or whatever, and you know, post your results in the comments. if you want. This is my first time making a video like this, so if I did kind of bad or if there's anything that I could have done better, please let me know in the comments, because I'm willing to take any kind of criticism right now. But thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.